On the record, the commission will come to order. This is the time and place set for a status conference in I-1210-013, the order instituting investigation on the commission's own motion into the rates, operations, practices, services, and facilities of Southern California Edison Company and San Diego Gas and Electric Company associated with the San Onofre Nuclear Generating Station Units 2 and 3. I'm Administrative Law Judge Darcy Kalk, and to my left is President Michael Picker, the assigned commissioner for this proceeding. Again, to ensure we have an accurate record, we have a court reporter here that's going to take down everything that's said today. Please speak slowly and clearly and state your name before you speak so that the court reporter is able to take down a accurate and clear record of today's proceeding. So the purpose of today's hearing is to discuss the status of the proceeding, next steps. We will also discuss the public participation hearing set for this evening, and then if there are no further questions, we will conclude the status conference after that. I am going to turn the mic over to President Picker to make an opening statement.
I really don't have anything to add, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We will now go ahead and take party appearances and then discuss the status of the proceeding, including the most recent filings from last week. And we will start over here.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ed Moldovsky, counsel for ORI.
John Giesman, representing the Alliance for Nuclear Responsibility.
Good morning. Henry Weissman for Southern California Edison Company.
Matt Friedman, representing the Utility Reform Network.
Raymond Lutz with Citizens Oversight.
Emma Salustro for San Diego Gas and Electric.
Nora Sheriff, the California Large Energy Consumers Association, or CPUC.
Maria Severson and Michael Aguirre for Ruth Hendricks.
I'm sorry, with whom?
I'm sorry, with Michael Aguirre for Ruth Hendricks.
Jean Merrigan for Women's Energy Matters.
Mark Toney, the Utility Reform Network.
Paul Mitchell, Southern California Edison.
Daniel Douglas for the Direct Access Customer Coalition and the Alliance for Retail Energy Markets.
Are there any other parties here? So our first item, the status of the proceeding. We have reviewed the additional information that was submitted by the parties on April 27th by way of a stipulation of undisputed facts. And we do believe the factual record is sufficient to move forward and that we will be able to vacate the hearings currently set for May 23rd and 24th. Do the parties have any comments or questions about that? Great, okay, we can move on now to the public participation hearing set for this evening. We again want to reiterate that the public participation hearing is being set so that the commission can hear from the public. The parties in the proceeding have opportunities to present their case through the filings, the status conferences, and other forums in the proceeding over the number of years that the proceeding has been active. So tonight's hearing is to give the public an opportunity to give their opinion or comment on the proposed settlement, the proceeding, and how they would like to see the commission move forward or put any questions that they have on the record. At the last status conference, we did allow for the settling parties by way of Southern California Edison to make a brief presentation just to outline the differences between the settlement that's currently in effect and the proposed settlement, given the unique circumstances of this case and what's put before us. So we will allow for that time at the beginning of the hearing, and then we will move into hearing from any elected officials that are present at the hearing and the public. So are there any questions about the public participation hearing for this evening? Are there any questions, hearing none, about any other matters at this point? We will consider the comments that are provided this evening at the public participation hearing. If we need any additional information from the parties by way of filing, we will request that quickly, but otherwise our plan is to move forward with drafting a proposed decision and have that issued as quickly as possible. Mr. Friedman and then Mr. Weissman.
We may have the same question, Your Honor, which is, does that mean that the briefing dates in the schedule are going to be removed from the calendar, or they will remain?
At this point, we've already briefed the one issue that Public Watchdogs was granted limited party status. So unless the parties have a specific issue they would like to brief, we can vacate the briefing dates as well.
I was just going to ask if we could be off the record for just a moment, if I could confer, have a brief conference with some of the parties.
Yes, we can go off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we need to be off the record for anything, or should we go back?
On or off, as you wish, to set a clarification question about tonight's proceedings.
Okay, we can go back on the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Henry Weissman for Southern California Edison Company. As far as tonight's public participation hearing, we understand that Edison Mr. Nichols, will be making the initial remarks. My question is, if there are questions that arise in the course of the evening, members of the public, would it be permitted for the other settling parties who will be in attendance to respond to those questions depending on their nature?
What we would like to do is we will, as the one slide indicates the names of the settling parties, we will, at the, either before or after the presentation, ask the settling parties to stand up and, so that everyone can see who's there. To the extent that there are questions from the public during the comment period, we will note those for the record, and we will ask those individuals if they want to hear more information from any of the settling parties, that they can do so either at a break, depending on how many people we have, or afterwards, but we will make sure that the settling parties can waive or identify themselves so they know who to go and talk to, and if they want to submit additional comment after talking with the settling parties, then they can do that in writing, either by letter or email.
I see. So it's not currently contemplated that the other settling parties will speak this evening?
No, it's just, we wanted to set the stage for showing the comparison between the settlement that's currently in effect and the one that's being proposed, and have that put out there.
Your Honor, Dan Douglas here. I wanted to make a clarification for the record, which is that my appearance here today is solely on behalf of the Direct Access Customer Coalition, a signatory to the settlement. I mistakenly mentioned another client on whose behalf I frequently appear jointly with it and the Direct Access Customer Coalition.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Moldowski.
Just at the PPH, it's possible that not all parties can attend. Is attendance mandatory?
Attendance is not mandatory. The settling parties will be listed into the record. ORA will not be present.
It may be difficult. We may attend. It may be difficult.
a number of settling parties there that will be able to address anything that comes up. Any other questions? Okay, then we will see most of you at 6 o'clock this evening. We are adjourned.
I can't believe it.
Brief at this time. We certainly don't. I'm not aware that anybody does, but I think that was left a little bit unclear on the record.
I believe, and I can check with the court reporter, when nobody responded, I said we'll vacate the briefing schedule.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Wasn't sure. Thank you.
So it's,
Thank you.
and I can include that in a post ruling if that's helpful for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.